Hey guys, it's Marcus Jersa and Crystal Blagg with No One I Can here today to interview Jessie Ferguson. I know her as Jessie. I think she goes by Jessica now because she's an adult and everything. I grew up with Jessie. She was really good friends with my sister Crystal, and I've known you for a long time, and I didn't see you for a long time, and now you're back in Nowata and you're a leadership. What would be your actual title?
I'm the ICAP coordinator, which is the individual career academic planning. And
That sounds really fancy.
yeah, so it sounds fancy. It's not fancy. What I do basically is I help the kids realize we do like some assessments and figure out what they would want to do, what their interests are, where their strong points are, what they might want to do with their future. And it kind of starts in middle school as a gradual exploration type thing with careers, and then as they get a little
So we're
older,
developing leaders.
yeah, we are. We're
Very
working
cool.
on it, starting early.
Awesome.
And then they get to kind of explore different careers, and then when they get to high school, they actually have like a plan, an education plan, to where they're taking classes that will help them towards their career goals.
Very nice.
So whether that be Tri-County Tech, or, if you are going to go into something with healthcare, you need to probably be in a lot of science and math classes. And that's kind of what they do. Then when they're a junior or senior, they are to do like internships. I'm setting up internships for them.
Fantastic.
And mentorships and job shadowing roles. And that's my job.
Very
Yes.
cool. We'll go into more depth when we get back.
Our mission is to promote strategies and policies which ensure improved health for all citizens of Nowata County.
Very cool. So here at No One I Can, CAN stands for Community Advancement Network. And I was in conversation with some community leaders, and they were talking about the next generation of leaders. And in a lot of organizations around town, there's people that have been in that leadership role for a long time. And they're looking for fresh blood. They're looking for new people to take over, pass the baton, because some of them have been doing it for a long time. And the energy is just, I've been doing it for 50 years. It's time for somebody else to pick it up. And somebody said, this is just the truth. Somebody said this to me. They said, we have not been great at developing leaders in the past, and we need to get back to that. And I thought of you immediately whenever we talked about it. I was like, oh, I know somebody that's actually doing that. So that's awesome. And, somebody that's been doing it for 50 years and then is in the technology of 2022, that maybe is used to handwriting things versus using Excel sheets and stuff like that. There's just a different way of going about things. And so you were talking about internships. You were talking about mentorships. Tell us more about that, because these kids, if we invest in them, they're going to be able to take care of us going forward.
Right. The reason why internships are so important, they can decide whether they like something or not now.
Right.
If they think that they want to be a welder and they go and they job shadow, or they see what welding is, it may take them a couple of hours, and they're like, I don't want to do this.
Absolutely.
I don't like it. And otherwise, they're going to waste a bunch of time, and they have it set in their head, this is what I want to do, and they have no real world experience. They haven't talked to it, they haven't seen it, touched it, and they can't be what they don't see. So they have to be able to see these things in order to become whatever they need to do. So
what did you think you wanted to be, and then you ended up getting? I'm
think a
assuming
teacher.
everybody's been through that.
Yeah.
Really. Mm-hmm. Did you ever get a chance to explore that and see if that was
No.
anything you wanted to do?
No.
See, that's such a important thing. My dad told I wanted to be a landscape architect. Whenever I was in junior high, I took an aptitude test, and I didn't have a clue of what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to be a baseball player. Well, that didn't work out, and so I took an aptitude test or something like that, and I was like, oh, landscape architecture. I like to draw. I like landscapes. I like green gardens, and I want to design golf courses. That sounds amazing. And my dad said, well, you better make sure that you like doing something like that. Why don't you go work for a golf course, work on the golf course, see what it takes to do that kind of stuff. And I did. Now, being a landscape architect and actually working on a grounds crew and stuff like that isn't exactly the same. But I did have that experience. I kind of got exposed to it. Knew what the culture of a golf course was. And I went to school and I realized I don't want to be a landscape architect. But I'm glad that I had that experience because I knew then what I didn't want to do. And, you know, kids will sometimes ask in school, why do I need to learn this? Why do I need to learn this? I'll never use this. In some cases, it's true. I mean, I get that. But if you get them interested in something like science, then that other stuff comes a lot easier because I love science and what I can do with this science. I want to do this kind of thing going forward. Then it's a lot easier for them to learn.
Right.
But if you tell me I got to learn something like taxes, I have to learn my taxes every year. Like relearn the whole process every single year because I don't want to do it. But if I was interested in it, it'd make it a lot easier. So do you see kids going through your program? Do you see them being more successful in certain areas in their academics because they've had that exposure?
Yes, I think that the way I start it is they will take like a series of assessments, that probably 2 or 3, and it basically tells them like what their interests are, what their weaknesses are, what their values are, because they also have to value their life values, the things they value in life,
Right.
have to go along with their career goals.
Absolutely.
You know, if they want to be a pipeline welder, but they want to be with their family every night. Well, that's not, you know, they have to think about these things. And I think that once that they explore different things and they get it in their head, this is what I want to do. I love this. I've tried it. You know, this is what I want to do. Then they're a little bit more successful in other classes, or they at least are more interested. I
Right.
had a couple of girls that did a job shadow in the ER at the Nowata Hospital.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, I don't know. Like, I don't know, are they really gonna, you know, because they're high school
Might
girls,
as well figure it out now.
You never know what's gonna happen. So they absolutely loved it. Like,
Wow.
they loved it, and now they are dead set on nursing. And you know, they come in and they ask a lot of questions about what's next, and then you know,
It'll
what
keep
I
them more
can't answer,
focused if
right?
they're
And what I
interested.
can't answer, I send to Sherry Wilson because she's great at the college stuff. That's what she does. She is the counselor. So, I mean, that has been a little bit. I feel like they're a little bit more motivated, I guess. I would say.
Right. That was actually going to be my next question.
Right.
If nothing else, at least their motivation. Why do we do anything? We do it because there's some kind of payout or there's some kind of return on investment. And I love my job, but I never knew that I'd be working in something like this, and I'm glad I am. But it took me a long time developing transferable skills in other jobs that I've had that actually make me good at what I'm doing now. And if somebody like you, well, we had some people growing up that were really good. Miss Fry, you remember Sandy
Yes,
Fry?
I do.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing. I could go on, but I'd leave somebody out and feel bad. But having that mentorship, getting somebody involved in that can expose you to. I had guys that taught me how to work on cars, and I didn't get to go to Tri-County Tech because I was planning on going to college, and I missed out on going to do auto body and stuff, which I might have liked too.
My question is, how can businesses get involved with your program? You need local...
I do. I need local businesses to host interns. I need, like, if you're a vet officer, a pharmacy, or a bank, or a law office, I mean, really anything. If I have kids that are interested in law or something, they can come and do an internship. You can show them kind of what your career is, what your job is, what you do on a daily basis. This is what it looks like, because they need like the real world snapshot of it to see what it's like. And so from there, right. And from there, they can decide what they want to do moving forward. However, I have to have those places to place them. And I've structured it a little differently this year. I've had to, because I feel like matching them up is working. However, I want to have a list of local businesses, and I want the kids to apply for these positions, so the businesses also have a say-so in who their intern's going to be. So they want to do a resume. We just did the junior, Mrs. Sanchez, did a project with them where they had to do their... they had to come up with a resume, and she did job applications and went through the whole process
And that's
about
good for
dressing.
them to learn how to interview.
Right, and they did. So they had to show up, and part of their grade was the way they dressed. Now, even if you tried, if they tried and it was not, then that, you know, you get credit for that because you at least tried. And then we had the Nowata Community Foundation
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mhm.
Yep.
I was like, I think I said that right. They came up and we had 4 members come and do mock interviews
Oh,
last
awesome.
Thursday. So we did those. And the reason why we structured it that way is ConocoPhillips has an internship program. And we had, the resumes were due on the 25th. So we had several kids, probably 10 or 12 kids that applied
That's
for it.
awesome.
And we got 3 kids that have interviews.
Wow.
So we
That's
have,
huge.
yeah. So we have 3 kids that have the interview for the ConocoPhillips internships, and they have several spots. So.
That is awesome. So what would the internships look like for a local business? Say the law office wants to do that. What's that look
what
like?
they would do is they'll fill out a paper that basically states what their expectation is, whether they're allowed to or whether they're able to pay them or not, or give the school some kind of a stipend for it or not. They don't get paid for internships. I mean, most of the time. So they will have, it will be a very clear description of what their tasks will be. They will be evaluated. The students will be evaluated based on, their performance. Are they showing up to work on time? Are they, the way that they're dressed? Are they dressed the way that they're supposed to be at your place of employment? Are they being respectful? There's a whole list of things. There's also like a parental consent. So it's like a parent involvement as well. So there's a lot of involvement with it. There's a lot of expectations of them to go into somebody's place of business and to conduct themselves. So we have it, like I have all of little packets for businesses that would want to do it.
And this is through like certain months, just through the summer?
Typically, the internship is from August to May.
Okay, through the school year.
So it'll be through the school year. So it'll be like an hour during the day they can go, and this student, they get credit for it. It's the class is internship, and it's an elective. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
I thought of our buddy Wyatt Lively down at City Drug, and we've used him as an example before as some of the go-getter educated kiddos that they go out to the world and they go to college or they go get their trade and they just don't come back, and we lose some of our leaders because they go to big fancy cities or whatever. And Wyatt went and got his pharmacy license or whatever degree, doctorate, I guess, and he came back and he was a intern for Wayne.
Yeah.
And here he is.
Right.
We don't have a lot of that of our generation here doing things, because a lot of them have went to the wind, and I can only think of like 2 people from my class that I even hang out with anymore.
Well, Miss Wilson and I are starting to try to get into a lot more of the leadership stuff. We have 3 or 4 kids that are going to the Hobie Leadership Conference this summer at UCO, which is a big deal. We were fortunate enough to have someone fund that so they could go, because it's pretty expensive for each kid to go, but it's so worth it. They get to stay and I think it's important for them to stay on a college campus. Go stay on a college campus, build that confidence, stay in a dorm, see what the life is like around a campus, and build the confidence to think that they can actually go and do that, and then they bring that back, and I think that they're able to be good influences for other students.
Absolutely.
Is anybody going to Boys State or Girls State? My dad always wanted me to do that, and we didn't have it that year, or somebody didn't send us or something.
We have one girl this year that I think is going to be able to go to Girls State, but that's
Nice.
another thing. And that's my goal, is to start getting us to where we have kids that go to Girls State and Boys State, because that's you just really don't realize the things that you take away from that. And another thing, I used to always go page for the Senate. I think you paged, Crystal and
That's
I
where I
paged
was going, yeah.
Yeah, Crystal and I paged for the Senate, and I went through that paperwork the other day, and I want them to, I mean, it's probably too late this year, but next year I want us to have kids that go and page for the Senate, because I think that is such a great opportunity for them.
Crystal's son did it.
Yeah, and
he's
it
done
just
it
Judge
2
Strong.
years.
Yeah,
And he
and it
loved
just-
it.
He got to
Yes.
he got to go 2 years. Oh my gosh!
and the
I'm so
confidence that builds, and then just for kids that they may not get to go to Oklahoma City and stay for a week and ever see the Capitol building or the memorial or any of the things that they go there and see, I think that they get to touch it, see it, feel it, and they can, get experience that.
So my quick story was, my dad was like, "Oh, I went to Boys State. You really love doing this." I had been on a college camp. I went to OSU for a baseball camp, so I got to stay in dorms. My daughter's 13, and she's big into choir. She made all-state choir. She got to go stay in a hotel in Oklahoma City, and then she's going to go to this other deal where she's going to stay on a college campus, and she's 13, and she's going to get to see this. And my dad was pushing Boys State, and well, I didn't know, so I went and I talked to Miss Fry, and Miss Fry's like, "Well, I don't know that anybody's doing Boys State or something, but you would be great for Senate paging." She's like, "I can get you hooked up with us." I don't know what that is. I had no idea what it was. Zero. And she tried to explain it to me. My little brain couldn't process it. And I got down there, I had no idea about politics. I mean, I read a government book, but I got there and I was there during Right to Work. Do you remember how crazy that was? And I went in and I got to go into a subcommittee on Right to Work before it was approved to go to the floor. And oh my gosh, I learned so much. I came out of Senate paging loving and being super interested in politics where I never knew that I would ever done it. I had no idea. I didn't know what a page was. And I'm like, I'm an errand boy. And somebody like me that was just going completely blank slate, going down and learning something. I don't stay very political now, but at the time I thought, man, I want to do this.
Right.
So they never know what exposure to new things that they may stumble on and may fall in love with.
Right.
Sometimes we got to nudge the kids a little bit.
And paging for the Senate, for people that don't know what it is, basically you're in like a little line up, at the Capitol building, and the phone rings. You're an errand runner.
Yeah, you run
and
errands.
you have to kind of like develop that confidence of like, okay, they told me where this was at. I've got to go get this and go get this. And it's, I mean, as silly as that sounds, a lot of teenagers don't have a lot of experience with that. And I remember being a little bit nervous. And then by the Thursday, I was like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
I know where that's at. And it gives you the confidence that gives you. And then you get to do like a mock bill, and you get to go to the governor's mansion, and you get to see a lot of really cool things. And it was just fun. We absolutely loved it. We had so much fun. So
I think it changed. I think it changed my personality. Like, seriously, my confidence of, I know this state capitol building. I know where the third floor is. I know how to do this. I know Senator Jim Imhoff. I know. It's
Right.
like I'm hobnobbing with these guys I see on TV. It was amazing. So, anyways,
it was a great experience. But I want us to get back as a school and know we need to start doing those things again.
absolutely.
And so that's me and Miss Wilson. We kind of have a little vision we've been talking about, and
Fantastic.
working with the leadership roles.
'Cause that's great on those kids' resumes for
Absolutely.
scholarships or
Yes,
tech
it
or
is.
wherever they're going.
Yes,
So,
it is absolutely.
so how do people get in contact with you about wanting to have an intern?
Okay, they can email me at jferguson@mpsok.org, or they can call me 918-559-9010. They can call my phone. I have a packet that I can give them that kind of explains what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then they can tell me a little bit more about what kind of a business that they run, what career cluster would that be involved in, so that I can place them a little easier when they apply. And it just kind of gives me an idea of what their business is like, what they're looking for, what they do. So there's a little packet that I give them so that we can make sure that we kind of match it up that way. So that's the first step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get you some businesses
I know.
that'll watch this
We
and
need
want to
some.
sign up.
Our kids need it. We
Yes.
absolutely do.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, how long?
You're like 18 minutes on
Hey,
the nose.
that's a good time. That's a good time. Is there anything else that, would you repeat your email address?
Yes.
Just in case.
jferguson@mpsok.org.
Okay. Fergeson.
No, Ferguson.
Pause it, rewind it. You'll hear me. We'll try and remember to put that on the post when we post it to
great.
Facebook.
Yes.
Then is there anything else before we get off here?
Nothing. It's essential that people step up. We really need people in the community to step up and to see the value in this, and to take interest and take some pride in some of our youth, because they have to have this. They need the experience. They need the work experience so that they can go on and be successful in life. And having experience, figuring out what they want to do with their future it's very important, and we just need help with that. So
Absolutely.
I need some people to host my interns.
I think it's such a boost in confidence whenever you are exposed to something you think you're interested in, then you're much more willing to listen to the boring stuff.
Yes.
Writing grants and filling out paperwork and running grant stuff, it does not sound that attractive, but we're very passionate about here. We wouldn't be doing the jobs we were doing if we didn't believe in the drug and alcohol prevention and the opioid prevention and the tobacco and nutrition and physical activity stuff. If we didn't believe that was a very valuable thing to this community, I promise you, I wouldn't be sitting behind that desk doing the type of paperwork because it bores me out of my mind, but the end result is this. And it's kind of like, why do I gotta... You remember the whole thing whenever we were learning to read analog clocks, and then we're like, there's digital clocks right there. Like, why do I need to learn an analog clock? It's like, this is much easier. But you still got to know it because it's a valuable skill. And if you know why it applies, then you're much more likely to go, oh, because now that I know this type of math, I can build rockets.
Right.
You know, I can make cool things, you know, that kind of thing. So, very cool. All right. Well, that has been Jesse Ferguson with a leadership group. And we've been playing around with ideas of what we can do to help with that leadership group, because it's very much part of our youth is our future, and very much tied into what our grants can potentially do with the youth leadership group. So we're going to continue exploring. Whenever we get some more information, we'll have Jesse back in, and we'll tell you guys a little bit more about our plans that we've got. So thank you so much for being here. Crystal, anything else?
I think that's it.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Trista, take us to our outro. I'm pointing at that.